What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're going to talk about Now You See Me. Yeah, this is an older movie, but I'm revving up for Now You See Me, Now You Don't. And I figured I would go back through the other movies just to catch up and check in on the Four Horsemen, see what they're like, see what they've been up to, what they do, what did they do, what have they been up to? Those crazy kids. This is I actually remember seeing this in theaters. I did get to see this before my vision loss. And this stars Mark Ruffalo as an FBI agent who is trying to investigate a crime that has occurred, and it might be magicians that have done it, but are they using real magic? And the magicians are the Four Horsemen, who are played by Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Isla Fisher, and uh, Dave Franco. Um, and along for the ride, Ruffalo has a partner, Common, who does not have a very big part here. Totally forgot he was in it. And but I did remember that he was joined by a French detective who was part of the chase too. But I forgot who played her until it happened, until I got back into it. And I remembered it was Melanie Laurent. And I was like, oh my God, I love this girl. I still think she should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actress for Inglorious Bastards. Like, that was such a missed opportunity for her character. And I think her career has probably been pretty good for her in France, but I think she would have had a much bigger profile if we had managed to also recognize the fact that that was a tremendous performance that she absolutely deserved an Oscar nomination for that year. Um, so she's here as well. And then we also have Michael Caine and Morgan Freeman. So it's directed from the guy who brought us Taken, Louis Leterrier. And it's produced by the guys who are currently making Starfleet Academy. So um this is better than that. I actually like Now You See Me. I think it's fun. I think it's silly. It's kind of goofy. I like the fact that it's when you take it at face value and not like a ooh, they're gonna make a franchise out of this. It's kind of cool because it doesn't really explain every single magic trick, almost to suggest as if there might be real magic, which is kind of the whole purpose of this Eye of Horus that thing that they're supposedly joining, is that there's this secret society of people who protect real magic, not, just sleight of hand, but the idea that there is real magic out there in the world, and that there's this organization, and possibly that's what the Four Horsemen are doing, is that they're having to do these grand gestures to prove that they're worthy of joining this clandestine organization, which is part of the plot. And uh, putting everything out there in the open and watching Ruffalo trying to chase them down and see, did they steal from the bank vault? Did they not? How did they do it? How did they pull it off? Um, and then the horsemen become more and more popular as time goes on, and they get crowds and yeah, come together. Four originally solo acts being pushed together, and Ruffalo goes after them pretty hard, to the point where it becomes a little bit. Sometimes I get a little bit tripped up on the ending because it's like it's clever, but sometimes it's too clever. I should say, I've kind of avoided spoilers a little bit, but I will go into them. This one was like 14 years old. So you've had 15 years old. You've had plenty of time to see it by now. Like, hello. um, I did finally watch with audio description. I like the audio description. The problem is that there are some times when I remembered that it was showing us something, like how something happened as like Morgan Freeman was describing it. And unfortunately, because he's narrating over it, you don't actually get to see the images of like a setup, right? Because he's trying to explain the trick, the gag. And that's just the way that the audio description is. Like, it can't talk over Morgan Freeman. So it's a little bit disappointing going from that way to the other, except for I still really enjoyed the movie. I just know, having seen this movie before, at least more than once, I think, more than once, um, that there were moments, there were images where I was like, yeah, I kind of think that that would be better. This movie's also crazy to think about because Isla Fisher uh, originally didn't come back. She's in the third one, which I haven't seen yet. I will. Um, she did not come back for the sequel because she did actually almost drown on the set of this movie. The scene with her in the tank, there was actually a complication, and Isla Fisher did almost drown while making this movie. So when they offered Now You See Me Too, I think she was probably like, no. I also think they offered her less money than the other horsemen. Like they did that thing where they're like, guys are worth more money than girls. So she gets replaced by Lizzie Kaplan for the sequel. I don't know if they're both in the third movie. We'll find out. But um yeah, the five horsemen, I don't know. So, not that this group couldn't have two girls. Anyway, yeah, I like it. So I have to take off my, spoiler hat now and get into it. So the thing about the movie is it's really clever. It's got a great gimmick and it really sets everything up nicely. And then it kind of overplays its hand a little bit because it's so committed to the idea that Ruffalo has no idea what's going on that it forgets and it overcommits itself in moments where Ruffalo is putting on a show, but for who? You know what I'm saying? Like, but for who? There are times where he kicks himself or he's upset about something, but it's all a ruse. And it's like he's doing it only for the audience's sake. And that's sort of where a better director would have found a more clever way of shooting it. Much like M. Night Shyamalan did with Bruce Willis in The Sixth Sense, where you start realizing that there were little signs along the way, even like when you revisit the conversations and stuff, like when she's sitting there talking, when Tony Collette is sitting there talking and Bruce Willis is just sort of like listening. She's not looking at him, she's not really talking to him. It was suggestive, but it's one of those things where you run it back through and you're like, oh my god, oh my god. And there are things that like Haley Joel Osment says and that feel very much like, yeah, of course, duh. Why didn't I see that? But you go back through it and you're not angry because you don't feel like the film lied to you. With Now You See Me, it is a bit of that. It's a bit of that on the reverse because Leterrier is not really. He's not Shyamalan. He doesn't have that kind of care and stuff into it. So this ends up becoming really fun fluff. It's really entertaining. But as far as being a cinematic classic, that's kind of why Now You See Me has failed to capture cinephiles, is because the craft is lacking a little bit. It's really fun. It's really creative. It's I enjoy the hell out of it. But there are certain points where you go, a better director would have sent this over the top. A better director would have taken this script, this cast, this movie, and would have known just the right shot, just the right moment, just the right note to give Ruffalo, just the right perfect way how to shoot that sequence so that way when you play it back through later, you go, oh my God, how did I not see it the whole time? We had an unreliable narrator. Instead, it feels like you had a narrator that was lying to you, and a film that was lying to you, all to get you to the end where you'd be like, what? What? You mean the guy who was investigating the crime was the guy who actually had the whole crime started to begin with? You're kidding. Shocking. um Although what's interesting is it's like, who else would it be at that point? You know, although there is a hint at, I was thinking about that too, because it's hard to remember what I first thought 15 years ago. I was like, you know what? It could be the dad down there at the bottom of the ocean in the thing. I mean, it could be like an old man who just comes out of here like Morgan Freeman's age. like a cameo that you're waiting for that you didn't know was in the film. So, I mean, there are other options of like who the man in the hood was, right? Um, and then there is also, while she seems to be legitimately there, Melanie Laurent does know the stuff about the Eye of Horus. And there's this idea that it's always like a man, right? So if it had been a woman, if Ruffalo had been right about her, and that she really was coming in to sort of watch this whole case, she would have made sense as well, um, potentially in a slightly different rewrite of the script. They could have used her. So, or just a random character, man. I don't know. Maybe we never see the guy that recruited them. Maybe we never see his face, and that opens it up for other sequels where it's like, who was that? I don't know. It's so creepy. So, I like the performances. I think they're all clever. I think the film leans more on Jesse Eisenberg and Woody Harrelson than it does on Isla Fisher and Dave Franco. If you look a little bit at the Four Horsemen, who gets more dialogue, a little bit more screen time, they do kind of rely a little bit more on Jesse and Woody than they do on Isla and Dave. Although both of those have their moments, both Isla and Dave have their moments. So, Common was the one I completely forgot was in this movie. So just totally just oblivious. But yeah, the Morgan Freeman performance is interesting, because he thinks he's one step ahead of the Horseman the whole time. His own hubris is his downfall. And Michael Caine, of course, um, the same thing being played. And there are certain scenes where you can look back at the Horsemen and you realize what it is that they're doing. Theirs is a little bit more obvious, like the questions that they ask him and stuff. And then when they're playing him at the end and they're like, how could we have known this? There's no way we could have known this, right? There's no way we'd have to know this, this, and this. And it's kind of clever because you can kind of see that a little bit more obviously than you can the Ruffalo twist at the end. So, I like Now You See Me. I'm glad to revisit it. And I'm going to review two and then the third one. So, but for now, my thoughts on Now You See Me. I don't know that I'm going to do a tomato meter review, but I'm going to review it as if I am going to. I should say with some of these older movies, I don't know, maybe, possibly, but if I do, it would be fresh and it would be an 8.3 out of 10. I like this movie a lot. I'm really glad that I got to revisit it. I remember liking the series in general. I think it's a really good movie, just not a great one. Just not like an epic movie from it. Like it didn't need to be at the Oscars or anything like that, but it is very entertaining. Um, and it's a premise that I kind of wonder if there wasn't a little bit more gas in the tank, if we had just gotten a little bit better director behind the chair. Leterrier does a nice job, but I wonder if there isn't just a little bit more in there, just a couple more shots and twists and the shaping of the story to craft something that really makes you go, wow, oh my God, like Christopher Nolan's The Prestige. So, anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you guys on the other side.